Hi everyone, my name is Farah Tahir and today I'm going to talk about The Shallows, The Juggler's Brain, Chapter 7 by Nicholas Carr. First of all, the introduction. Briefly, The Juggler's Brain, Carr named, gives this name to this part because he disputes that when people use the internet, they juggle, they manipulate of their attention. In this chapter, the main idea of Carr's question is what can science tell us about the actual effects that internet use is having on the way our mind work? In the process of answering this question, he used various studies and experiments. He finds out that the internet encouraged distracted thinking. Purpose Carr in this chapter explained the advantages and disadvantages of connecting browsing online, but the main purpose of this chapter he concentrated on the disadvantage. Key ideas. At the beginning of this chapter, Carr claims that the internet is a technological tool that changed the human mind, not because most of people use it almost constantly, but because the way it was designed. It is designed in such a way that it causes a rapid change in the circuits of the brain. When using the internet, all senses are used. The sense of touch is used when we touch devices. The sense of sight is used when reading a website. The sense of hearing is used when we hear an audio clip. Cognitive stimulation interacting with the internet or the network constantly leads to the involvement of systems that reward people, and this system makes the user aware of their social standing. One of the things that therapist Michael Hauser noted with regards to teens and young adults was a fear that if they stopped sharing social media by posting or checking posts, they would become invisible. Carr argues that the internet is in the process of capturing people's focus and diving and scattering their focus in more than one direction, distracting Neanderthals from the bottom up. The network is a large collection of the stimuli without a single problem, as it stops deep and creative thinking in its tracks. These are the most important statements that Carr makes in this chapter regarding to the use of internet. First, repeat the same or similar actions over and over again. Second, the net provides a high-speed system for delivering responses and rewards. Third, the net is by design an interruption system, a machine geared for diving attention. When delving into the science behind why the web is so hard to focus, Carr points out this study examines the brain function of new web surfers who are taught how to use the internet. Study number 1. In this study, it was observed that novice web surfers, after 5 days of training, developed the same amount of prefrontal brain activity as veteran surfers, while the brain of people who read books showed significantly less activity in the prefrontal cortex. Study number 2. This experiment that support Carr idea regarding to the use of internet. The experiment of Gary Small, who is an expert on psychological and neurological effects of digital media, suggests that the explosion of technology is quickly changing and affecting the human brains. The experiment conducted by Small showed the effect of using the internet for 5 hours can radically alter neural pathways. Although Small suggests that the extensive use of the internet and as basic way of thinking can affect and hinder deep learning and thinking, using the net as an informational medium is so intensive when it becomes our primary mode of thought can impede deep learning and thinking. Study number 3. The educational and psychologist John Swiller pointed out the following. He noticed that we face difficulties in forming long term memories through the social media and media in general. The internet affects the depth of our thinking. He explained in detail the long and short term memory. Study number 4. In 1990, an experiment was conducted, the results of which showed that reading the hypertext led to an increase in the cognitive load by comparing the reading of the text with the reading of the hyperlinked text. Briefly, Carr suggests that we rewire our brain perhaps in ways that could be harmful with attention span. The internet is the huge number of distractions. We think we are giving the internet our full attention, but we are actually just jumping from one distraction to the other. Human memory limits our conception of such stimuli. There are three types of memory: short term memory, long term memory, working memory. The short term memory, this type of memory consists of our direct impressions to the surrounding environment. The long term memory, this includes everything that we learned about our world. Working memory, this type of memory links between short term memory and long term memory. Short term memory, for instance, something smells good, feeling warm, sorry. The long term memory, for instance, the weather in summer is warm, the flowers smells good. Working memory is limited to 2 to 4 items at a time. Mind scratch board. Long term memory is the brain's file system. The information in working memory transfer to the long term memory in a deliberate and systematic manner. Long term memory is the brain file system. Long term memory stores all the complex concepts, models, and schemas. Long term memory stores all the complex concepts, models, and schemas, which is responsible for transforming fragmented information into a pattern of knowledge. When people are using the internet, the limitation of their working memory prevent them from retaining content. This reading is important as it gives us insight of how to answer the question how, uh, how, do, be, how do we become who we are? The answer the book gives is that we become who we are based on social contexts as we try to become the person we believe gives the highest social standing. This chapter showed that the internet influences human brain structure and development, as well as human communication skills. Now, most of the people communicate through social media but has lack skills in communication socially in person. The extensive use of the internet is leading to a lack of concentration among the new generation. The internet is affecting on the way we read, it affects our memory and affect our thinking or cognition. Thank you and have a great day.